Hello and welcome. I am Laura Radnicki of lauraradnicki.com, a craft site with fast, fun, and easy crafts. And the best part is there's no perfection required here. So we're working our way through the 30 Days of Ornaments project, and we are on day 14 today. We are going to make a keepsake fabric embroidery hoop ornament. So we have a 3-inch embroidery hoop here, just a cute little one. I got it in a multi-pack on Amazon. And so for this project, you can use any type of fabric you want. If you have just a favorite pattern, you can use that. You can use burlap or linen or anything you want. Or my favorite is to use a significant fabric as a keepsake. So I have been saving some of the jammies that my son, who is now 3.5, has outgrown, particularly as his toes poke out the bottom or as he makes holes in the knees. So some of my favorite jammies that he had, and my plan eventually is to turn them into either maybe like a pillowcase or maybe a stuffed animal or a quilt at some point. But so I went through my stash and I found a pair that has these little construction vehicles on them. And I actually cut 2 different ones out because I wasn't sure which one I was going to use, but I'm going to try the dump truck. That is one of his favorite things and has been for years now. So I'm going to use this piece of fabric as my fabric for this ornament. So what you need for the ornament is the embroidery hoop. You need some fabric. You need scissors to be able to cut the fabric out, and you need twine or some other kind of string to string through this top at the end to be able to hang it on your tree. And then there's several methods for being able to finish the back of the embroidery hoop, and you can just trim it close. You can trim it close and glue it on the inside if you want, or you can use some thread and a needle, which is what we're going to do here, to just kind of cinch the back up. So we'll try it this way, and then if this doesn't work, I'll just cut it close and call it good, or we'll just see what works best. So the first thing to do is to prep your embroidery hoop. And so mine came with some blue tape around here, and so I peeled that off. And one side always comes off easy, and one side always gets stuck. And so I did actually a pretty good job of removing all of it, but usually I have to take a needle and try to dig it out, and there's still some left over. So you do the best you can, right? No perfection required here. So you take it apart. Embroidery hoops have 2 parts. There's an inner hoop that's solid, and then there's the outer part that has the tightening mechanism. So you want to take it apart, take your inner hoop and lay that down. And that's what I used as my guide to determine where to cut out my fabric. So I laid this down, kind of looked at what I'd be able to see. So what you see inside the hoop is basically what your final ornament is going to look like. So I laid that around, and then I cut a circle. It's kind of like a weird oblong egg oval, but it doesn't really matter. I want some excess though to try to do this method of finishing the back, but that is how I determined where to just kind of cut a rough circle around. So now that I've done that, I want to lay this inner circle down, take my fabric piece that I cut, and I want to place that kind of right over it where I think I want it. Then I'm going to take this outer part of the embroidery hoop, and it doesn't matter if you do it this way or this way. And then you want there to be enough give that you're able to slide it over. So you want to stretch it and slip it over the hoop that you have with the fabric on top. So some remnants here from glue on my table. Okay, so here's what it's looking like. So I haven't tightened this top at all, and I have this excess fabric just kind of flopping around, but here's where we check to see if we like what we see. And to give you an idea of what it'll look like at the end, you can kind of wrap the rest of the fabric to the back, and that shows you, oops, have to be careful what I'm doing here. Okay, so I just made it loose you can see I got excess there now. So now I have to basically do this part again. So I take off the outside, I lay it down again where I think I might want it, and then I take this and press it down and don't mess with it. So now I like what I want, or I like what I have, so I'm going to tighten this screw as tight as it'll go without breaking it. You want it tight, but you don't want to go overboard here. You just want to make it so that if you're going like this, you're not accidentally popping the outer ring off. And that's really all it is. Now you want to finish it. So if you're in a hurry, you could just take your scissors and cut all this excess off the back. The downside of that is that you're not able to adjust it very much later if you cut all your excess off. Another option, and I have done this, is to cut maybe 1/4 of an inch or so around. So you have a little bit left, but not much. And then you could actually put some glue on the inside of the ring here and then fold your excess over. And that's a way of finishing it. So basically you'd be folding not this much excess. So you'd cut off all but 1/4 inch first, and then you'd be folding that in the back, and that would give you a finished look. But we are going to try to use just some string here. And what we're going to do is just do a very loose, big, straight stitch. So just in and out around the outside. I'm just going in, out, in, out, in, out, like that. Just very, very simple stitch around the perimeter of my excess. And this is not meant to look pretty. It's just meant to help close up the back. And so keep your stitches loose because you're not ready to pull it tight yet. But you want to go all the way around the perimeter. So I didn't mean to tighten it there. So I got to loosen it back up. Do a couple more in and out. Now it's up to you which method you like better for finishing it off. This one obviously gives you a lot of extra room to be able to tighten it in the future if you need to. But I think the downside is that sometimes it kind of looks a little sloppy. So it's up to you. But we're going to try this one. So then what you do, I finished it and I have my 2 ends here. And if you pull, you can see that it kind of just all puckers it together. And so what I'm going to do is just pull it as tight as I can. I can take my needle off now. And I'm just going to tie these ends. You can tie it in a knot, or if you want to be able to adjust it, you can even just tie it in a bow. So see, the tighter that you pull it, the tighter the back kind of all puckers together. And so that's what we want. So I am going to just tie this into a bow in the back and see what happens. Now actually my bow didn't work. So I am going to knot it because I don't think I'm going to be making much for changes. And if I do and I want to be able to adjust it, I can cut this string and then adjust it, and then I can finish it with some new embroidery floss. So I'm just going to knot it as tight as I can possibly get it. Knot it a couple more times and then cut my excess. And so there we go. But that is so, so cute and so special because I know when I look at this that this is my son's old jammies. So now we want to hang it. And so this is another downside. I don't know if you can see that on the table, that it doesn't lay flat. So this is fine for a Christmas tree because you're not laying it up against anything flat. But if you were putting this on the wall, for example, you probably wouldn't want to do it this way because it would not lay flat because of this bump. So your options are you could glue a piece of cardboard to the back, but I don't really think that that's necessary, or it seems kind of redundant to glue something to the back and have this. So if I was wanting to put this on the wall, I think I would cut it so that there's the 1/4 inch circle of excess, and then fold it and glue it, hot glue it to the inner rim of this embroidery hoop. So, but because we're putting it on a tree, this back kind of fabric section there doesn't really matter. It's not going to hurt anything. So for hanging on the tree, we're going to take our thick twine, we're going to put it through this top. This is like a built-in hanging loop. And we're going to just tie a knot here. Pull it tight, trim off some of the extra, and it's ready to go. So the other option, if you see this, as is kind of the issue with when you hang things like that, if you're going like this, the ornament turns sideways. So what I always do when I'm putting things on my tree is kind of prop it against other branches. But if you don't want it to turn like that, we can show you another option. So let's see. I'm actually going to just cut this off because I have others and I can do another twine section later. But I want to show you if I can find the end. Here we go. So I'm going to use this thin twine and I'm going to cut a section. And we're going to try something else for hanging and see if it works better. I'm going to fold this thin twine, or you could use any kind of string you want, yarn even, whatever you want, in half. Okay. Now we're going to start at the front, so the good side, and we're going to take our loop and stick it through to the back. Then we're going to take this loop here and we're going to put the two tails through the loop, and then we're going to pull it tight. And so this gives us the ability to hang it and it doesn't go sideways. So I think I'm going to do it this way. And really I could use that thick twine too if I wanted. It just, you have to fit your folded up loop through here, but it would be fine. So, but just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use this thin twine. You use whatever you have. Then we're going to cut off the extra. But here we go. This is ornament number 14, our Keepsake fabric embroidery hoop ornament. And I think it is so cute and very sentimental. If you had, I think this could also be a great, maybe a memorial gift. If you lost a loved one that year, maybe you have a piece of clothing that you would want to turn into some of these keepsake ornaments for family members. My grandparents passed away in recent years, a few years ago, and I think this would have been a really cool way to take maybe like one of my grandpa's old plaid shirts or something that he wore a lot and turn it into some keepsake ornaments. And now I don't have any of those clothes. That would have been really cool to do. But I think that would be really, really sentimental and sweet, and a really neat ornament to pull out year after year to look at. I'm really excited about this one. Super, super simple and very, very meaningful. So this is ornament number 14 in the 30 Days of Ornaments project. So I invite you guys to go and check out the Mama Makers Club craft community. It's a free community on our website. You can find out information about that at lauraradnicki.com/library. And when you sign up for the Mama Makers Club, you get access to the free resource library. And in there, there's free patterns and printables to help you be able to do the tutorials on the site faster and easier. There's downloadable checklists you can print out. There's lots of different resources to inspire you and help you do the crafts faster and encourage you to make more things, because ultimately that's why we're here. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for following along. Head over there at lauraradnicki.com/library. Check it out. See if it would be a good fit for you. We would love to have you. And we will be back with ornament number 15 of our 30 Days of Ornaments project. So I hope to see you there. Bye.